They called him heartless for cutting off his entire family. I'm the woman he chose instead, and now they're standing outside our gate begging to come back in. My husband hasn't spoken to his family in 4 years. His mother. His father. His 2 sisters. His brother. His aunts. His uncles. His grandmother. Every single person who shares his blood. Gone. Cut off. Blocked. Deleted. 4 years of silence so complete that when his mother showed up at our gate last Tuesday crying and begging to be let in, my husband looked at the security camera, turned off the monitor, and went back to making our daughter's lunch. I watched him spread peanut butter on bread while his mother sobbed on our intercom. He didn't flinch. Didn't pause. Didn't look up. Just finished the sandwich. Cut the crusts off because Lily doesn't like crusts. Put it in her lunchbox with a juice box and a note that said, "Have a great day, princess. Love, Daddy." Then he looked at me and said, "Can you drive her today? I have a call at 8. That's my husband. That's the man they call heartless. The man making crustless sandwiches and writing love notes to a 4-year-old while his mother stands outside our gate. The man who chose me and our daughter over every person who was supposed to love him first. And they hate me for it. His whole family. They think I'm the reason. The woman who stole him. The manipulator who turned a son against his parents. I didn't steal him. I found him. After they threw him away. My name is Rachel. I'm 32. My husband's name is Jared. He's 35. We've been married 3 years. Together 5. We have a daughter, Lily, who's 4. And I'm going to tell you exactly why Jared cut off his entire family, because they've been telling their version for 4 years and someone needs to tell the truth. I met Jared 6 years ago. At a hardware store. I know that's not romantic. He was buying drywall tape. I was buying a smoke detector. We were in the same aisle. He asked me if I knew the difference between 2 brands. I didn't. We stood there reading the backs of packages together for 10 minutes, and by the end of it he had my number and I had the wrong smoke detector. I didn't care. He had kind eyes and calloused hands and he laughed at his own jokes before he finished telling them. That was enough. First date I learned 2 things about Jared. 1, he was a carpenter. Ran his own small business building custom furniture. 2, he didn't talk about his family. I asked the normal first date questions. Parents? Siblings? Where'd you grow up? He gave short answers. Parents are around. Got a brother and 2 sisters. Grew up about an hour north. Then he changed the subject. I didn't push it. Everyone has things they're not ready to talk about on a first date. By date 3 I knew something was wrong. Not with him. With whatever he'd come from. He flinched when his phone rang. Physically flinched. I saw it happen twice. Both times he checked the screen, declined the call, and put the phone face down. When I asked who it was, he said, "Nobody important." But his jaw tightened. His shoulders went up. The body language of a man bracing for impact even when the impact wasn't coming. 2 months in he told me. Not everything. Just the outline. He said, "My family isn't good to me. Never has been. I'm trying to get distance. I don't want to drag you into it." I said, "You're not dragging me into anything. I'm walking in willingly." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "You might change your mind when you hear it." I didn't change my mind. I'm still here. And now I'm going to tell you what the Lawson family did to the man who makes crustless sandwiches for his daughter. Jared is the middle child. Older sister, Megan, 38. Younger sister, Brianna, 31. Younger brother, Tyler, 28. Their parents, Frank and Gloria Lawson. Upper middle class. Nice house. 2 cars. Looked perfect from the outside. Every Christmas card showed a smiling family in matching outfits. The kind of family you'd see and think, they've got it all figured out. They didn't have anything figured out. What they had was a system. And the system was simple. Jared gives. Everyone else takes. Jared was the fixer. The provider. The problem solver. From the time he was a teenager. He started working at 15. Not because he wanted spending money. Because Frank, his father, told him, "You want to eat, you contribute." His siblings didn't work. Megan did cheerleading. Brianna did dance. Tyler played video games. Jared worked. After school. Weekends. Summers. Every dollar went to the household because Frank said that's what family does. Family contributes. Except only Jared contributed. Nobody else was asked. Nobody else was expected to. Jared was the one who got the responsibility. The others got the childhood. At 18 Jared didn't go to college. Not because he couldn't. Because Gloria told him they couldn't afford to send everyone, and since Megan was already enrolled, Jared should wait. He waited. Megan went to college. Then Brianna went. Then Tyler went. Jared never went. He went to work. Apprenticed under a carpenter. Learned the trade. Built a skill while his siblings built degrees on money he'd helped earn. By 22, Jared was sending money home. Regularly. Frank lost his job. Gloria worked part-time. The mortgage was behind. Jared covered it. $1,200 a month. For 3 years. While living in a one-bedroom apartment and driving a truck with 200,000 miles on it. He ate rice and beans 5 nights a week so his parents could keep their house. His siblings were in college spending money on spring break trips and posting photos while Jared ate rice. Nobody thanked him. Not once. Gloria would call and say, "The payment's due on the 15th. Not, "Thank you for keeping our house." Not, "We appreciate what you're doing." The payment's due on the 15th. Like he was an ATM with a phone number. Megan graduated. Got a marketing job. Didn't offer to help with the mortgage. Brianna graduated. Got into pharmaceutical sales. Didn't offer to help. Tyler graduated. Moved back home. Didn't get a job for 8 months. Didn't offer anything. 3 adult siblings with careers and degrees that Jared's money had indirectly funded. None of them picked up a single payment. Jared carried it alone until Frank got rehired and the mortgage was caught up. Total amount Jared sent home over 3 years, $43,200. He was 25. He had nothing saved. Nothing built. Nothing to show for 3 years of work except a family that expected his sacrifice and never acknowledged it. But the money wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the way they treated him. Jared was the family joke. The one without a degree. The one who works with his hands. The one who didn't go anywhere. Megan called him the handyman at Thanksgiving. Everyone laughed. Brianna asked him to fix her bathroom sink, and when he did, she told her friends, "My brother's basically a plumber." At family dinners, Frank would talk about Megan's promotion, Brianna's sales numbers, Tyler's new job. Then someone would ask about Jared, and Frank would say, "Jared's still doing his thing." His thing. Custom furniture. A business he'd built from scratch. Pieces that sold for $3,000 to $8,000. Clients who waited months for his work. His thing. Dismissed in 2 words by a man whose mortgage Jared had paid for 3 years. Gloria was worse. Gloria played favorites and didn't even hide it. Megan was the golden child. Everything Megan did was celebrated. Megan's engagement party. 60 people. Gloria planned it for months. When Jared got engaged to me, Gloria said, "Oh. That's nice. When's it happening?" We told her the date. She said, "That might conflict with Brianna's birthday. Can you move it?" Move our wedding. For Brianna's birthday. A birthday that happens every year. We said no. Gloria pouted for a week and then told extended family that Jared was being selfish about the wedding date. The wedding. That's where everything started to crack open. Jared and I planned a small wedding. 60 people. Our money. Our decisions. We didn't ask Frank and Gloria for a dime because Jared knew that money came with strings and the strings would be wrapped around his throat. Gloria wanted to invite 30 additional people. Family, friends. Neighbors. People Jared hadn't seen in years. We said no. Our budget. Our guest list. Gloria called Jared and said, "This is embarrassing. What will people think if they're not invited?" Jared said, "They'll think it's a small wedding." She said, "You're being difficult." Like always. Like always. That phrase. Jared told me she'd been saying that his entire life. Anytime he had a boundary. Anytime he said no. "You're being difficult." Like always. The phrase designed to make the person with standards feel like the person with the problem. Megan called next. She said, "Just let Mom add her people. It's easier." Jared said, "Easier for who?" She said, "For everyone." Jared said, "Not for me. I'm paying for this wedding." She said, "God, Jared. Why do you always have to make everything about you? Everything about him. The man who made nothing about himself for 25 years. Who sent $43,200 home and ate rice. Who paid a mortgage while his siblings went to college. Who built furniture with his hands while they laughed and called him the handyman. Everything about him." We held our wedding. Our guest list. Our budget. Gloria came. She wore white. I'm not joking. She wore a white dress to her son's wedding. When my mother saw her, she grabbed my arm and said, "Is she serious right now?" I said, "Unfortunately, yes." Gloria spent the reception telling people the wedding was lovely but intimate. Intimate was her code word for cheap. She said it 7 times. My maid of honor counted. After the wedding, things escalated fast. Jared's business was growing. He'd gotten a feature in a local design magazine. Orders were backed up for months. He was making real money for the first time. Good money. And the family noticed. Tyler called first. He said, I need $5,000. Business investment. Can't tell you what it is, but it's guaranteed return. Jared said, no. Tyler said, come on, bro. I'd do it for you. Jared said, you've never done anything for me. Tyler hung up. Told Gloria that Jared refused to help family. Brianna called next. She needed a cosigner on a car loan. Her credit was bad. Jared said, no. She said, I'm your sister. He said, you're my sister who called me a plumber in front of your friends. Get Tyler to cosign. She hung up. Told Gloria that Jared was holding grudges. Megan called. Not for money. For free furniture. She was redecorating her living room. She wanted a custom dining table. Jared's table sell for $6,000 to $8,000. She wanted it for free. She said, it's family. You wouldn't charge family. Jared said, I charge everyone. That's how business works. She said, you've changed. That woman changed you. That woman. Me. I changed him. No. I just showed him what it looks like when someone doesn't take from him. Gloria called after all 3 had reported back. She said, Jared, your siblings are telling me you've become cold. Selfish. You're not the boy I raised. Jared said, the boy you raised sent home $43,200 while his siblings went to college and nobody said thank you. The man I became says no. She said, you're breaking this family apart. He said, this family was broken long before I stopped paying for it. That conversation. Right there. That's the one that started the 4-year silence. Gloria told the extended family that Jared had become selfish since marrying me. That I turned him against his roots. That I was controlling his money and isolating him. She told aunts and uncles and cousins and the grandmother who sent him birthday cards that Rachel is the problem. Rachel took our Jared away. The calls started. From everyone. Aunt Deborah. Uncle Marcus. Cousin Tanya. Grandmother Louise. All of them with the same script. Your mother is heartbroken. Family is everything. You can't let a woman come between you and blood. A woman. I was the woman. The villain in their story. The outsider who corrupted their ATM. Jared answered every call the same way. I'm not discussing this. If you call about this again, I'll block you. Most of them called again. He blocked them. One by one. Like pulling weeds. Calm. Methodical. Permanent. Frank showed up at our apartment. Unannounced. He said, son, this has gone far enough. Your mother cries every night. I said, she cried every night but never once in 25 years said thank you for keeping our house. Frank said, that's not fair. Jared said, $43,200, Dad. That's the number. Ask Megan for the next 43 grand. See how that goes. Frank left. Didn't come back. Grandmother Louise wrote a letter. 4 pages. About family legacy. About how the Lawsons stick together. About how she was disappointed. Jared read it. He said, she's disappointed in me for setting boundaries. She wasn't disappointed when I was 22 sending money home while eating rice. Disappointment only shows up when the ATM stops dispensing. He blocked the grandmother. The last one. Every Lawson. Gone. 4 years of silence. In those 4 years, this is what we built. Jared expanded the business. Hired 2 apprentices. Got featured in 3 more magazines. Built a workshop behind our house. We bought the house, 4 bedrooms, a yard, a gate. He paid cash for half of it. Cash he earned building things with his hands. The hands his family laughed at. Lily was born 3 years ago. Jared was in the delivery room holding my hand telling me I was incredible. He cut the cord. He cried. The man they call Heartless cried holding his daughter for the first time and said, she's never going to wonder if she's loved. I'll make sure of it. He makes her lunch every morning. Crustless sandwiches. Juice box. A note. Every single day. He reads her bedtime stories in voices. Different voice for every character. She laughs so hard she can't breathe and he does it again and again until she falls asleep. He built her a playhouse in the backyard. By hand. Took him 3 weekends. It has a working door and windows and a little mailbox where he leaves her letters from imaginary friends. She runs to the mailbox every morning and pulls out a folded piece of paper that says something like, "Dear Lily, the butterflies miss you. Please come play today. Love, Mr. Whiskers." This is the heartless man. The cold, selfish, woman-controlled man who abandoned his family. This is what he does with his time now that he's not sending $43,200 to people who called him the handyman. Last Tuesday. The gate. Gloria showed up with Frank. I saw them on the camera first. Gloria was holding something. Flowers. Frank was standing behind her looking uncomfortable. She pressed the intercom. She said, "Jared? It's Mom. Please. I just want to talk. Please let me in." Jared was in the kitchen, making Lily's lunch. He looked at the monitor. Looked at his mother's face. Turned off the monitor. Went back to the sandwich. I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm fine. Can you drive Lily today? I have a call at 8. That was it. No anger. No sadness. No hesitation. The decision was made 4 years ago. The woman on the intercom was a stranger pressing a button at a house she'd never been invited to. Gloria stood at the gate for 45 minutes. I know because I watched the camera. Jared didn't. She cried. She talked into the intercom even though nobody was listening. She said, "I know I made mistakes. I know I wasn't fair. I just want to meet my granddaughter. Please. I've never met her. She's 4 and I've never met her." Frank eventually walked her back to the car. They sat in the driveway for another 20 minutes. Then they left. Jared came home that evening. I told him how long they'd stayed. He nodded. He said, "She wants to meet Lily." I said, "I know." He said, "She called me the handyman's wife at Thanksgiving. You remember that? 3 years ago. Before we cut them off. She called you that to Megan and Megan laughed and you heard it from the hallway and you came to me and you didn't cry but your voice was shaking and you said, 'Is that what they think of us?'" I remembered. I tried to forget what I remembered. He said, "That woman doesn't get to hold my daughter. My daughter whose playhouse I built with these hands. The hands they laughed at. She doesn't get to sit in my house that I paid for with money I earned doing the thing they mocked me for. She doesn't get to eat the food I cook in the kitchen they'd call too small if they saw it. She doesn't get any of it. Because she had 25 years to treat me like I mattered and she spent every single one of those years treating me like the help." He wasn't angry when he said it. That's the thing people don't understand about Jared. He's not angry. He's done. There's a difference. Angry people come back. Then people don't. Megan tried next. A week after Gloria's gate visit. She sent a letter to the house. How she got the address I don't know. The letter said she was sorry. That she'd been reflecting. That she realized the family had treated Jared unfairly. That she wanted to make amends. That she'd heard about Lily and wanted to be an aunt. Jared read it. He said, "She didn't realize the family treated me unfairly until her marriage fell apart and she needed someone to lean on. Funny how that works. Empathy arrives when people need something." He threw the letter away. Didn't respond. Tyler showed up at the workshop. Bold move. Walked right in during business hours. Jared was with a client. Tyler said, "Bro. We need to talk." Jared looked at him. Looked at the client. Said, "Sir, I apologize for the interruption." Then to Tyler, "You need to leave." Tyler said, "Come on, man. It's been 4 years." Jared said, "It'll be 40. Leave my shop or I call the police." Tyler left. Brianna sent a message through Instagram. Long DM. Apologizing. Saying she was wrong about the plumber comment. Saying she'd grown. Saying she missed him. Jared blocked her without responding. 4 attempts. 4 Lawsons. 4 rejections. Because 4 years of silence wasn't punishment. It was peace. And Jared wasn't going to trade peace for the same people who'd spent 25 years taking it from him. But they didn't stop. That's the thing about the Lawsons. They don't hear no. They've never had to. Jared always said yes. So when someone finally said no, they didn't know how to process it. They just kept pushing. Gloria started a social media campaign. I'm not exaggerating. She posted on Facebook. Long, emotional posts about being estranged from her son. About the pain of not meeting her granddaughter. About how a mother's love never dies. She tagged family members. She shared articles about estrangement and forgiveness. She posted old photos of Jared as a kid with captions like, "I miss this boy. Where did he go? Who took him from me? Who took him from me? Me." She meant me. Every post was designed to paint me as the villain without saying my name. And it worked. People in her church. People in her neighborhood. People who'd never met Jared or me were commenting things like, "Praying for you, Gloria. No child should abandon their mother. That woman must be controlling him." I found the post because a friend sent me a screenshot. I showed Jared. He read them. He said, "She's performing grief for an audience instead of doing the work to earn forgiveness in private. That tells you everything about her priorities. Appearances over accountability. Same as it's always been." He didn't respond. Didn't post anything back. Didn't engage. That's Jared. He doesn't play defense because playing defense means acknowledging the attack. He just keeps building. Keeps working. Keeps making sandwiches and writing notes and reading bedtime stories. The best response to people who want a reaction is a life so full you don't have time to give one. Then Gloria escalated further. She contacted one of Jared's clients. I still don't know how she found out who they were. Maybe through the magazine features. Maybe through the business website. But a client called Jared and said, "Hey, a woman called me claiming to be your mother. She was crying. Asked me to pass along a message. Said she's dying to meet her granddaughter and you won't let her. Wanted to know if I could convince you to call her." Jared called his lawyer that afternoon. Sent a cease and desist to Gloria and Frank. Formally? Legally. In writing. It said, any further attempts to contact Jared Lawson through his business, his clients, his home, or third parties will result in legal action including but not limited to restraining orders. Gloria received a letter. She called Aunt Deborah crying. Deborah called Jared's business line. Jared's assistant, a woman named Kara who knows the whole story, answered and said, "Mr. Lawson is not available. Please direct all communication through his attorney." She read the lawyer's number off a card Jared had taped to the phone. For exactly this purpose. Frank tried one more time. He came to the workshop again. Not during business hours this time. Evening. Jared was alone finishing a piece. Frank walked in. He said, "Son. I'm not here to fight. I just want to say something and then I'll leave." Jared put down his sanding block. He said, "You have 60 seconds. Frank said, "I know we failed you. I know we took advantage. I know we laughed when we shouldn't have. Your mother knows it too. She's not sleeping. She's not eating. She's losing weight. She looks 10 years older than she is. Losing you is killing her." Jared said, "She didn't lose me. She threw me away. Over 25 years. Joke by joke. Demand by demand. Dollar by dollar. She threw me away and then acted surprised when I didn't come back. Tell her to stop contacting my clients. Tell her to stop posting about me online. Tell her that if she actually wants to change, she should start by writing down every dollar I sent home and every time she called me the handyman and every time she chose Megan over me. When that list is done, she can send it to my lawyer and I'll consider reading it. Not forgiving. Reading." Frank stared at him. Then he nodded. He said, "You got a good life here, son. I can see that. I'm glad." Jared said, "That's the first kind thing you've said to me in 35 years. Frank left. I don't think he'll come back. Not because he doesn't care. Because for the first time, he heard his son clearly. And what he heard was final. People ask me if I feel guilty. If I feel responsible for tearing a family apart. The answer is no. I didn't tear anything apart. The Lawsons tore themselves apart. Over 25 years. One unpaid thank you at a time. One handyman joke at a time. One white dress at a wedding at a time. One $43,200 at a time. I just happened to be standing next to Jared when he finally decided he'd had enough. They call him heartless. The family. The extended relatives. The grandmother with her 4-page letter about legacy. They say he has no heart. That he turned cold. That I froze him. They're wrong. Jared has the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. He just stopped letting people who don't deserve it anywhere near it. The gate is closed. The intercom is off. The monitor stays dark. Inside the gate there's a house he built. A workshop he earned. A daughter who thinks he's the greatest person alive. A wife who knows he is. A mailbox with a letter from Mr. Whiskers. A playhouse with working windows. Crustless sandwiches. Juice boxes. Bedtime stories and funny voices. That's what's inside the gate. And the people outside it had 25 years to earn their way in. They spent those years laughing at his hands instead. The hands that built everything they're now begging to be part of. The gate stays closed.